Good morning. Kerry here, founder of Best of Us Investors. As we're approaching the end of the year and going into the Christmas season, I'm going to get real busy, and so I'm not going to have a lot of time to reach out to you. But over this weekend, as I talk to people about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and what Trent, Mark, and I have been able to achieve over the last I guess about 8 months. Because what we did, and on the thumbnail, I showed you myself as well as Samantha and Bard. We built Samantha and Bard to help us predict the price of stocks over in the future. And our parameter was we only wanted to consider investing in stocks that would give us a 100% return over the next 3 years. And as a result of that, we got some stocks who gave us a 200% return in 6 months. And so we started the bus portfolio, if you will, managed by myself, Samantha, and Bard, um, on May the 1st with $668,000. And as of this morning, it's up to 1.4 million, which represents about 110% return on our investment since the 1st of May. To give you some relevance to that, over that same period of time, the S&P 500 has given you 22%, and the QQQs have given you 29%. So we're outperforming them basically by a factor of some 4.5x. Why is that important to you? Well, if you're part of our group, it's important to you because you have possibly participated in that kind of growth. And it's all built around AI, and in particularly around the build out of AI data centers. But more importantly, I think what needs to be taken away from it, if you can do it on stocks, you can do it on anything. What are we doing? We're taking and giving access to a large language platform all the knowledge that we can gather on a particular stock. So, with that in mind, the the validity and the accuracy of it is totally dependent upon the amount of data that we give Samantha and Bard. And then, secondly, what is important is how they process that data and how they recognize that data for what it is. So, what we had to do is say, okay, based on our personal research, in order to achieve a 100% over the next 3 years return, you need to have these, you need to meet these parameters. With that in mind, then it just becomes a matter of the quality of the data that we're able to access, and that involves paying for access to data on the internet. Then you build the AI agents to analyze it and make the predictions, and it becomes just a process. And as you then, what will happen in the future as we give feedback to Samantha and Bart, our AI agents, this is how you've been doing, and this is the accuracy with which you are producing predictions, it will just get better. And then as we get into inference, it will start thinking for itself. Now, the other thing I think that is in our future is the preservation of the data in memory, of past analysis. We analyze each of our stocks every 90 days when they have their quarterly reports. There is some question, and I don't know the answer. How accurate is ChatGPT, which is what I'm using now, how accurate or how efficient are they at keeping that in memory and then using it in future analysis? I don't know the answer to that question because I don't have access to Sam Altman to ask him that question. I suppose I could ask Samantha, and I will do that. But I think what I'm looking at and what Trent and I are looking at is, okay, how do we create our own data stack so that every piece of prediction and every piece of data we generate on each stock is there for us the next time we want to analyze a stock. And that's something we're working on with one of the hyperscalers right now to help us create that platform so that we can take it to that next level, and then so that we can analyze more stocks. And why would they be interested in helping us do that? Because they have the compute and they are building the compute at a very high expense. And they want to show the world in it by example what they're capable of doing. And if we can continue to beat the S&P 500 and the QQQs by a factor of 4x, they have then a story that they can tell. This is what we did with Best of Us Investors, and it could be applicable to your situation, whatever your business might be. And what businesses might that be? Well, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is medical. If I can predict the stock price, if based on the data I have, if I have enough data on a human being, meaning all of their health records, all their ancestry records, and the analysis of billions of other people who might be in a similar situation to them, who might have a similar genome track, well, the medical field will become you will get the same kind of results that your 4x better with a computer or an AI generated analysis than you are with a doctor's analysis. That's exactly that's where I think this is going. And that's what I think the hyperscalers recognize is we'll not only be helping people make more money, we'll save lives. We'll change the course of medical history or medical future by using this same kind of analysis to predict the outcomes of human medical condition. And I think that's going to be enormous. And I think two of the players that people are kind of ignoring are Apple and Oracle. Because again, if I'm going to analyze Kerry's body to help him make better medical decisions, I have to have access to his body. Well, how do I gain access to his body? Wearables, an Apple Watch, or in my case, a Fitbit watch, then access to the data. So now everything is both historically supported as well as real time. And again, as I said in the thumbnail, I don't think most of the world has woken up to this. Nita and I have had experience in the last 2 weeks with dermatologists and relative to a skin cancer she had, and they don't have a clue. I openly said to the dermatologist who was examining my body, you will be replaced in the next 3 years. And the dermatologist said, what are you talking about? And I said, a mirror that will do exactly what you're doing, but then put that data into a database of billions of other people. You're analyzing my body based on your knowledge, and that's the sum total of your analysis, of your knowledge. You're one person. That's the same as you. Well, you're not a stock analyst, but it's the same as one stock analyst analyzing a stock as opposed to all the information available on the internet and then that kind of analysis. So the medical field will blow up. I'm watching this last night. I watched my favorite TV show, Landman, about the oil industry, and I got to thinking. Um, you get a geologist out there, and they're talking about reopening a well in the Gulf of America, the Gulf, and they're talking to a geologist as to where do we punch the hole. Um, that won't You won't depend on one man's opinion to where to punch the hole in the middle of the Gulf to hit the oil. It'll be all the knowledge in the world about reopening an oil well, and it'll change the whole perspective and the whole world of oil drilling, and then robots will come in, and you can see my drift there. Then I guess I was thinking the other thing I spend a lot of time doing is watching college football. That will change immensely. If I have the medical records and the performance history of every high school athlete through professional athlete, and then I can access their current physical condition, I can predict the winner of every football game, probably within a 95% accuracy. This is all in the making. And I'm only aware of one individual right now who is doing it and doing it with a recordable history of accuracy, and that's Best of Us Investors. I don't know anybody else who you could go to and they could say, okay, let's see, that was May, that was the 5th month, we're in the 12th month. Here's a track record of 7 months of work of predicting what will happen in the future. And here is what their competition has done. And the bus portfolio is up 110%, and the S&P's up 22, and the QQQs are up 29. Now, I'm sure there are hedge funds that are kicking my butt, but it's only because they have built a similar system and they have access to this data at enormous expense that they have built over the years. And I do it and make it available to you for $60 a month. That's I want, if you're listening to this, I want you to be aware. I want you to have a clue, because I don't believe 99.9% of the people in the world have a clue. It's interesting to me. I'm seeing what Robinhood is doing, and they're doing this predictability on everything from who gets elected, and it's not based on data. It's based on opinion, and they're somehow saying this is more accurate than anything we've ever had before. That if you have enough people who have an opinion, you will come up with the right answer. And again, that may be true in the format of predicting elections, but I don't think. I think I could beat them at predicting who's going to win the NCAA basketball or football tournament over the next 3 weeks. I think if I could have access to every player's historical performance and their medical condition and the weather and how they've played in that weather before, and what their past record as a team is, I think I could beat them. I really do, and I think that will become a element of the future. And as I said that, thing went through my head is, and I suspect it could, if you had enough data on the Powerball lottery, you could probably predict the number. If you could build the AI agent, you could probably at some point predict the number of the Powerball ticket. Because it's all based on data. And as you gather more and more data, you funnel down to more and more accuracy. So I want to leave that with you as you move into the holidays. Get a clue, figure this out. And if you don't have the money to put together all the data you need to predict what a stock price is going to be in the future, um, come to Best of Us Investors and join our crowdfunding. That's how we're putting this thing together. Um, I'll try to answer some of your questions here on the chat. DDD looks like a good buy. That's 3D printing. Are you in the market for a 3D printer? Um, Spark K, or Spark 55278? Are you in the market for? Is it going to change your life? When you can answer that question, yes, then I would say, because I know DDD. I got caught up in it. I lost money on it. 3D printing is not there yet. You don't see. I would tell you, if relative to DDT, how many hyperscalers are investing in it? How much money is big industry putting into DDT or any of 3D printing? Until you see massive amounts of money chasing a stock, it isn't going to go anywhere. Yeah, I know people in manufacturing who have 3D printers, but what I've learned the hard way is, until you can make it something that the consumer wants, um, you don't have a big enough TAM, total addressable market. It's expensive to build companies, and you have to have a massive TAM. Um, so, okay, here's MCF Senior. I'm up 328%. I didn't use AI. I'll laugh out loud. I used the charts. All your years of trading, why do you insist on being the bag holder? Why do I insist on being the bag holder? I don't have a clue what you're talking about, bag holder. Uh, anyway, good for you. Good for you. And I hope that 328% amounts to millions of dollars, and you have the ability to change your family's lives. Good for you. And what I'd suggest you do is, if that's something you can do and you can share with the rest of the world, then package it. Don't don't keep it to yourself. Package it and make a difference in the world. Okay, it's one thing to to achieve 328% for you, but don't be so selfish. Share it with the world, because there's plenty of people who can't achieve that. And be a good Samaritan, be a missionary, and make the world a better place if you're that good at what you're doing. Um, Again, congratulations, kudos, and if you don't use AI, and you're that good using charts, then create a system and share it with the world. Why wouldn't you? The charts are the charts. Okay. have a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah or whatever you choose, but have a happy holiday, and let's go into this next year and adopt a sharing attitude. That's why I'm here. I could just do this for myself, uh, but I choose to share my knowledge. And AI is the access to all the knowledge in the world. Have a good day, and probably talk to you after the first. Well, I don't know what my schedule is from that point on.